3, 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to an extra special My Little Pony CreepCast special.
It's dumb CreepCast. It's called dumb Creep. We got a letter in the mail. Not looking good. They're really mad. Just be extra clear. It's dumb CreepCast. Like, I don't want to cut this all out. But literally, Wendigoon, the guy, Wendigoon himself, he messaged me and he threatened to come to my house and shoot me. He said that. He said that.
Imagine that.
It's in my DMs.
I could see him like swimming across the ocean going.
Yeah.
Come to your house.
No, he said, listen, you red-coated English fuck. I will come to your house in fucking Scotland and I will shoot you in the head with my AR-15. He said that. But
you're not English.
I don't know. He must have been confused.
He must have thought that's the other one.
He's a little weird. I don't know. He's kind of dumb. But yeah, just don't, because their lawyers are really pissed. Like, it's like a 10-page doc. Cut this all out. Let's start over. Okay.
Anyway, what I meant to say was, welcome back to the My Little Pony Dumb CreepCast special.
The My Little Pony Dumb CreepCast special.
So today we're going to be reading a very, very infamous fic. We're going to be reading Cupcakes today. And I'm sure for a lot of people who are listening to this, that probably brings back some memories. But we have someone in the room who has never heard of Cupcakes before.
Nova?
Well, he's probably never heard of them either. But I was referring to you.
I've heard of Cupcakes, the little round dessert, cylindrical, with like a little puffy paste on top.
I remember. I'm glad you know of the little pastry thing.
That's what that is, right?
Yeah. So what's your knowledge on My Little Pony look like?
I know that there was a show made about dolls, to sell dolls, and it involved ponies and magic and occasionally friendship. I've seen 3 episodes of one of the series just out of curiosity, because like bronies were a thing.
Yeah.
And like PewDiePie did like the bro hoof, ironically or not. I don't even know. And I don't know. That's all I know. I know there's one called Fluttershy and one called Sparkle Bottom.
I'm sorry. I'm just remembering that Reddit post of the Fluttershy meme that you sent to me. Let's not add any context to that.
No, I'm just going to put it on screen right now. Now you guys can all enjoy that too.
So that's why you know about Fluttershy. Well, neither of those characters are here today. Today we go.
Oh, and they have like tramp stamps. They have little like emojis on their butts.
Yeah. They have, they're called cutie marks.
Cutie marks.
They're cute.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's basically all you need to really know about My Little Pony to enjoy this. The main point is that, despite that, you're like, yes, it is like a show for young girls, whatever, it also has a massive fandom that originated on 4chan.
Like PewDiePie.
Yes, sort of.
Was PewDiePie into it? Was it?
I don't know that.
Or was it like unironic? Like what level of the depth of irony was this?
So I didn't watch PewDiePie nor My Little Pony. I only know a lot about the fandom from passing, so I couldn't tell you either of those. That could be your own research that you can do tonight.
How much of an overlap is there between My Little Pony fans and Nazis on 4chan?
A lot. A fucking lot, by the way. So much. So this fanfiction, I believe, comes from 4chan originally. Lots of fanfictions on it. But this one we're gonna cover today is probably originally supposed to be a joke fic. I think probably supposed to be a joke fic. It's supposed to be like, oh, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash was a very popular shit back in the day, so they made this, and it worked. I think anybody who's even like heard of the My Little Pony fandom in passing knows this one, and also like things other like Rainbow Factory, which we might do as well. Really like that fic, and I think there's a new one that's also been around recently. It's like a sort of like infection kind of idea.
Okay.
I could have loved that.
Are these all based on the Friendship is Magic era, or is there?
It's all Friendship is Magic.
Okay.
The main fandom, the fandom, so to speak, like as it appears on the internet. So you see 4chan, you see like this, like thousands upon thousands of like fan pieces of this. That massive fandom only really started around Friendship is Magic, and that's because 4chan kind of like, it became a big thing within 4chan at the time.
Yeah.
So before that, it's kind of like mainly young girls kind of watch the show. Afterwards, it's kind of like a 50-50 split of like 11-year-old girls and like 30-year-old Nazis on 4chan, basically. Yeah. But this one, I haven't read in a very long time, I will say. I didn't read it at the time when it came out or whatever. I wasn't really like a brony or whatever, but I had friends who were in the fandom, and I remember reading this when I was about 14 or 15, I want to say, a lot later on. And I remember really liking it. I remember really liking it, even for what it was. Like, I was never really that big into like Creepypasta or whatever, but I thought this one was really stood out to me.
All right.
Yeah. Genuinely, from what I remember, I have only good things to say. Obviously, let's read it.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you brought this up to me, I totally thought this was going to be like a joke. Like, we make fun of it the whole...
No.
Oh, no, it's like genuinely good?
From what I remember.
Okay.
From what I remember.
And how old were you when you found this?
My friend used to do fan fiction and like fan art of it. I think I was 15 or 16.
Okay.
Maybe even later than that, actually. I think it was over COVID, so I must have been 18.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, we'll see.
Maybe I just have horrible taste, but let's get in.
We'll see. We'll find out.
So, I am going to be doing the voices today because I think I have a nice little high-pitched voice to Miss Pinkie Pie. I think she sounds like this. Maybe not quite like that, but And the Rainbow Dash is like the stock butch lesbian, She has a very like kind of gravelly voice. So I think
Do any ponies sound vaguely like Markiplier? Hello, everybody. My name is Rainbow Dash, and today we're playing Five Nights at Freddy's.
There is that one pony who's basically just Weird Al Yankovic, so
like voiced by him?
Yeah, and also based on him.
Oh.
And he's married to Pinkie Pie, and they have a baby.
Wait, Weird Al is canonically a pony and is married and has a child in the pony universe?
Weird Al Yankovic is canonically in the My Little Pony universe. His name is Cheese Sandwich, and he has 2 children with Pinkie Pie.
You could be making all of this up, and I would have no way to prove you
Dennis,
wrong.
I'm being 100% truthful. This is something that happens in the My Little Pony universe.
I just have to believe you, I guess. I have no choice. That's it.
Yeah, and also there's like that one scene where they're like everything just like goes to fuck, and like they have to like start fighting zombies and stuff with their little hooves,
All right. Let's get into it.
Oh, I'm so excited to do this today. I'm so excited to read this again. I'm kind of scared that it's not going to be that good, but no matter what, I know you're going to have some reaction to it, so I'm so excited.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Let's go read the story. Well, we're going to read the story.
Are you going to start?
Oh.
The air was warm, the sun was shining, and all of Ponyville was having a glorious day. The town square was bustling and crowded. Busy ponies were making their busy way through the streets. All the pony folk seemed to have somewhere to be, all except Rainbow Dash. Her place was in the sky. She freely tore through the air, speeding one way and the next. She buzzed the treetops and raced the wind. The Pegasus swooped over a schoolyard, much to the delight of the children. Are like human kids canon in My Little Pony world?
No, it's like little ponies, like little tiny ponies, but they call them children as well.
So it should have been like To the Delight of the Foals.
Yeah, it should have been like To the Delight of the Foals and Colts, but children works as well.
Yeah. Climbing several hundred feet, she dove, going as fast as she could. Seconds before hitting the ground, her wings flew open and she took off back into the clear blue. Rainbow Dash felt alive.
I will say, like, just from the start, like, reading this, the dialogue, or not the dialogue, sorry, the writing itself is much better than I thought. This is very in character, I would say. Obviously, you don't have a field of reference, but it's very in character and honestly described pretty well.
Sure.
Then she remembered that she had somewhere to be. She was supposed to meet with Pinkie Pie in 5 minutes. She'd gotten so caught up in her exercises that she nearly forgot. Pinkie had asked Dash to meet her at Sugar Cube Corner at 3. She didn't say why or what they'd be doing, but Dash knew that with Pinkie Pie, it could be anything. She wasn't sure if she really wanted to go though. She was so engaged with her stunts that she thought about blowing Pinkie Pie off to continue flying. But Dash's conscience got the better of her. She knew it would hurt Pinkie Pie's feelings after all. She said it was going to be something special just for the two of them. She considered it and thought, why not? What did she have to lose? Heck, it would be more pranking. Pinkie might have found a bunch more fun stuff to pull on folks. They had so much fun last time. Dash kicked it into overdrive, mostly to make for the lost time, and sped to her appointment.
When she walked into the store, she immediately was greeted... No, you can't laugh. You can't laugh. When she walked into the store, she was immediately greeted with her host bouncing in excitement.
Yay! Yeah, you're here! I've been waiting all day, said the jumping pony. Sorry if I'm late. I'm a little late, Pinkie Pie. I was doing my afternoon exercises and lost track of time, Dash apologized.
Pinkie giggled and responded, her tone gleefully reassuring.
Oh, that's okay. You're here now. What a few more minutes. I've been so excited thinking about all the fun stuff we're gonna do. I haven't stopped bouncing since we woke up. I mean, I almost forgot to breathe since I've been so happy.
Dash gave a slightly uncomfortable laugh. Me too. She always appreciated Pinkie's friendly, outgoing way of life, but her overabundant enthusiasm almost creeped her out. Dash was polite, however. If Pinkie had got this worked up, then it must be good, whatever it was.
So you ready to get started, Rainbow Dash? I've got everything all ready, Pinkie said.
Pinkie said.
Dash shaked herself up. You betcha, Pinkie. What you got planned? We gonna prank somebody? I got a couple good ones I've been thinking about. Or maybe you got some stunts you think I should try. Or maybe making cupcakes!
Pinkie happily announced.
Turn the page.
Baking? Dash was disappointed.
Pinkie, you know I'm not good at baking. Remember the last time?
Our pages are different.
Oh, that's not a problem at all. I only need your help making them. I'll be doing most of the work.
Pinkie explained. Dash thought about it for 2 seconds. Dash thought about it for a second and replied,
Well, alright. I guess that's okay. What exactly do you need me to do? That's the spirit. Here you go.
Pinkie handed Dash a cupcake. Dash was puzzled.
I thought I was helping you bake. You will be. I made this one just for you before you got here. So, is this like a taste testing or something?
Dash asked.
Sorta.
Pinkie said.
Dash shrugged and popped the pastry in her mouth. She chewed a bit and swallowed. Not bad. Okay, now what?
Dash asked.
Now, Pinkie informed, you take a nap.
Upon hearing that, Dash felt lightheaded. Her world spun and seconds later, she dropped onto the floor. When Dash regained consciousness, she found herself in a dark room. She tried to shake her head, but found that a taut leather strap kept it firmly in place. She struggled to move, but the braces around her chest and limbs glued her to a rack from a series of sturdy planks, which spread her legs wide apart. Dash's wings were the only part of her not tied down, and they fluttered frantically while she struggled to escape. As she writhed, Pinkie jumped into her line of sight.
Goody! You're awake! Now we can get started,
she gleefully stated. She was pushing a cart covered with a cloth.
Pinky, what's going on? I can't move.
Dash said in a worry.
Well, duh. You're tied down.
Pinky chided.
That's why that's why you can't move. I don't think you need to be told that. But why? What's happening? I thought you said I was going to help you make cupcakes. You are helping. You see, I ran out of the special ingredient and I need you to get more. Special ingredient? Dash was now breathing heavily and starting to panic. What special ingredient?
Pinky giggled and responded.
You silly.
Dash's eyes widened, her face contorted in fear. Then she started to laugh.
Whoa, really got me there, Pinkie Pie. I mean, tricking me into thinking I'm going to get made into a cupcake. I gotta tell you, this is the best prank yet. You win, you're the best.
Pinky giggled even more.
Oh, thanks, Dash. But I haven't done any pranks today, so I can't accept your praise.
Dash was struggling again.
Pinky, come on, this isn't funny. Then why were you laughing?
Pinky grabbed the cloth and whipped it off the cart. The top of the tray contained various sharp medical tools and knives, carefully organized and neatly and ready. There was a medicine bag and several other objects next to them. Dash was now in full panic mode. She was starting to hyperventilate. Her mind was racing, and she tried to reason with the pink pony.
You can't do this, Pinky. I'm your friend. I know you are, and that's why I'm so happy I've got you here. We get to share your last moments together, just you and me.
She was skipping again.
But the other ponies will wonder where I am. When the clouds pile up, they'll come looking for me, and then you'll get found out.
Dash was desperate.
Oh, Dash.
Pinky said.
Don't worry. There's plenty of Pegasus to take care of a few clouds. And besides, no pony will find out. I mean, how long do you think I've been doing this?
And with that, the lights suddenly came to life and showcased the rest of the room.
Oh gosh, no.
I like how, despite there being like a weird torture scene where like this pony is gonna like murder this pony and use her as an ingredient in apparently cupcakes, we're still only saying, oh gosh. Like, we're still concerned about that.
That's like the funniest part of this story for me, where it's just like, yeah, every other part, yeah, sure, 18 plus. The swearing, no, the ponies would never swear.
Right.
Also, like, Rainbow Dash is the pony that I can imagine most vividly saying fuck. So.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck, no.
Dash reeled in horror at the image presented to her. The room was decorated with a typical but twisted Pinkie Pie flair. Colorful streamers of dried entrails danced around the ceiling. Brightly painted skulls of all sizes were stuck on the walls, and organs done up in pastels filled with helium tied to the backs of the chairs. Organs filled with helium? Oh, like balloons. Mm-hmm. The tables and chairs were made of bones and flesh and past ponies. Dash cringed at the centerpiece on the table nearest to her. The heads of 4 foals, their eyes closed like they were sleeping, wearing party hats made from their own skin. She recognized one of them as Apple Bloom's classmate. Her eyes darted back and forth and then glazed up at the patchwork banner hanging from the rafters. Made from several pony hides, the words, "Life is a party," were scrawled in red. Dash's attention was stolen by a party horn unfurling and tickling her nose. She saw Pinkie Pie standing in front of her. The party pony was wearing a dress quilted from cutie marks. On her back fluttered 6 Pegasus wings, all different colors. As she skipped in excitement, her necklace of unicorn horns loudly clacked together.
Like it? She asked. I made it myself.
Dash pleaded.
Pinkie, please. I'm sorry if I ever did anything to you. I didn't mean it. Please let me go. I promise I won't tell any pony.
I promise I won't tell any pony. Still keeping up the facade.
Well, they would say that in the My Little Pony universe. The words anybody does not exist in My Little Pony.
For real?
Yeah. That
But
doesn't
that's
exist.
the equivalent is us saying any human.
Yeah, but that doesn't. It just.
Any dog.
That's just not in their language. They just don't have anybody. It's only any pony.
Wow.
Oh, Dash, you didn't do anything. It's just that your number came up and, well, I don't make the rules. We can't turn back now.
Rainbow Dash was tearing up. How could this be happening?
Aw, don't be sad, Dashy, Pinky said. Look, this'll cheer you up. I brought you a friend.
Out of seemingly nowhere, Pinky displayed a blue and yellow painted skull. It was about pony-sized, but it had a very defining feature. A beak. Dash was freaking out.
Is that... Hey, Dash, let's hang out together. These ponies are limos. Dweebs.
Pinky mimicked.
I caught her right before she left town. Remember when I left the party for about 20 minutes? That wasn't enough time to play with her, of course. I had to wait till after the party to do that. But boy, am I glad I did. It was worth it for the flavour alone. Griffins taste like two animals at once. It's amazing. I know she didn't have a number like everyone else in Ponyville, but when was I going to get another chance to try a Griffin? In hindsight, I probably should have asked where she came from so I could get more, but I forgot. I'll tell you what though, she was quite the fighter, lasted a long time, which was fun for me. I got a chance to play with somebody other than a pony and try new things. It's too bad you had such a potty mouth. She said so much bad stuff. I had to take her tongue out. You know, bad language makes for bad feelings, Dashy.
Dash didn't have anything to say. She just sobbed and writhed.
Well,
Pinky said, putting the skull down.
That's enough reminiscing. It's time to begin.
She picked up a scalpel and walked over to Dash's right flank. Without any flair, she placed the blade an inch above her cutie mark and started a circular cut around it. Her lungs working overtime, Dash shouted in pain and tried desperately to pull away, but the braces held her still. Finishing the incision, Pinky grabbed the curved skinning knife from the tray. She worked it under the skin and sliced the hide away from the muscle. Dash ground her teeth as she tearfully watched as her flesh came off. Pinky then moved to the other side and completed the other flank. Once she was done, Pinky held up both cutie marks in front of her friend and started waving them like pom-poms. Dash just whimpered. Her thighs burned. Placing the skin down, Pinky selected the large butcher knife and walked behind Rainbow Dash.
Hope you don't mind. I think I'm gonna wing it now.
Pinky laughed. She grabbed the left one and played with it for a second. Then, stretching the wing out, she brought the blade down at the base. Instantly, Dash screamed and thrashed her appendage. The movement threw off Pinkie Pie's aim. She tried to hit the mark again, but missed wide and put a huge slice in Rainbow's back.
Dash, you gotta stay still or I'll keep messing.
She took another whack and hit the target. She swung again and again, blood spraying into the air, but realized she wasn't getting anywhere. The blade just wasn't going through the bone.
I guess I forgot to sharpen it. I'll try something else.
She stated as she tossed the knife over her shoulder, the blade embedding itself in the table.
The crying Rainbow Dash heard the sound of a metal box opening and closing. Got it? Say, Rainbow Dash, why did they call it a hacksaw? It doesn't hack. Hacking was what I was doing with a knife. This is a saw. I don't get it.
Pinky placed the tool over the last attempt. It effortlessly sailed through the bone and skin. The painful feeling of the teeth biting into her made Dash want to vomit. She watched hopelessly as her wing flew over her head and landed with a fluff on the table. Pinky moved the next and started sawing. Pinky moved the next.
I think it's supposed to be Pinky moved to the next.
Yeah. Pinky moved to the next and started sawing. Dash didn't struggle this time. She'd given up on trying to fight and just cried. Then the sawing abruptly paused. Pinky was only halfway done, the wing hanging off by only a sliver.
Hey, Dash.
She piped up.
Think fast.
Suddenly, she yanked the wing as hard as she could. The bones snapped, but the skin held tight. The pole ripped a long strip of flesh down Dash's back to her rump. The unexpected trauma caused her body to seize. She felt the warm release between her legs as her pelvis tensed up. Dash's loud, unending melody of pain filled the room. Unable to catch her breath, she blacked out. She awoke with a gasp. The stench of her urine filled her mucus-caked nostrils. She saw a very pouty Pinkie Pie removing the adrenaline needle from her chest, stomping her hooves, and the frustrated Pinkie lashed out.
Didn't anyone ever teach you any manners? It's very rude to fall asleep when someone invites you over to spend time with them. How would you like it if I came to your house and went to sleep? Oh, I'm sorry, Dash. You're boring. I think I'll take a nap. You think I always liked doing this by myself? I told you how excited I was when I found out you were next. I was excited to have a friend here with me when I worked. But no! You've got to be inconsiderate. You know, I thought you were tough. I thought you could handle anything. I've had foes stand up better than you. Do I have to baby you, huh? Is that how you want to remember you? A baby?
She stopped to catch her breath. Dash blinked and softly cried. Her back was on fire. Pinkie then popped something red into her mouth and began to chew. She noticed Dash was staring at her.
What? She asked. Oh, this? Holding up another piece. Well, while you were asleep, I got a little impatient and helped myself to a sample. I got it from your leg. You're not bad. Want to try some?
Without waiting for a response, she shoved the strip of meat into the revolted Rainbow Dash's mouth. She immediately spit it out. Pinkie picked up.
If you didn't want it, you could have said no.
She then ate the discarded snotty morsel.
It's not like you haven't had it before.
Swallowing, she turned her attention to the small can on the tray. She removed the lid, revealing that it was filled with burning coals. Sitting on top of the fire were several large nails. Dash began to panic again. Pinkie picked up the can and walked over to Dash's left, carefully picking up a nail and grabbing a hammer. She positioned the spike at the seam between her leg and her hoof.
No! Pinkie Pie, no! Dash screamed, no! No!
The hammer came down and the nail punctured under her skin. The white hot burning was too much. Dash pulled and thrashed at the brace. Her skin rubbed and tore. Pinkie tried to line up another one, but couldn't find her aim. She let out a frustrated grunt. When she pulled the hammer back to take a wild swing, Dash burst out crying and begging.
Please stop! Please! Please stop!
Pinkie rolled her eyes. Putting the hammer back down, she walked back in front of her friend. She stared pensively at the broken Pegasus. Gilda didn't even cry this much when she struck that live Parasprite down her throat. Parasprite?
I think that's supposed to be Parasite? I don't know.
Okay, it's not like a pony thing.
I don't know what that is, yeah.
We'll say it's a Parasprite. Pinkie thought for a minute about what to do next. Then there was a sudden spark in her imagination. She grabbed the gear wheel on the rack and laid Rainbow Dash down on her back. She moved to Dash's hind legs, bringing the can with her. Pinkie picked up the hammer again and she drove a searing piece of metal through the bottom of Dash's hoof. Dash screamed again. Pinkie put one into the other hoof. Next, she located the small generator on the tray. Tying the copper wires to the nails, she gave Dash a wink and flipped the switch. Electricity rocketed through Dash's body. The blue pony reacted immediately. Body seized, muscles taut. Her hips struck skyward, and her eyes rolled back. She let out a deep, throat-shitting cry. Pinkie giggled and danced in place. She turned up the juice. Dash convulsed uncontrollably. Her bladder emptied once more. After about 5 minutes, Pinkie shut off the power. The area smelled lightly of cooked flesh and burnt enamel. She put Dash upright again and tried to snap the delirious and drooling pony back to attention.
Dashy, Dash, wake up.
Rainbow Dash managed to give her a modicum of weak acknowledgement. Pinkie reached into the medicine bag and pulled out a large syringe.
All right, time for the last round.
Dash looked at the needle and Pinkie took that as a question as to what it was.
Something to take the pain away, she informed as she walked around to Dash's ruined backside. She stuck the needle into the lower part of her spine. Dash flinched.
Coming to the front again, she told her friend,
In a few minutes, you won't be able to feel anything below your ribcage. Then you'll be able to stay awake to watch the harvest.
Dash started to cry again.
Pinkie Pie.
She trembled out.
Yeah?
Sorry, Nova. I'm so sorry.
I want to go home.
Dash openly sobbed.
Yeah,
I can see wanting to do that.
The party pony replied.
sometimes I just want to give up, say, I'm done with this mess, and go to bed. But you know what? You can't shrug off your responsibilities. You gotta pull yourself up and meet the challenges head on. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead in life.
Dash cried. Minutes passed and the drug took effect. Dash was numb from her chest to her flanks. Aware of this, Pinkie approached her with a scalpel. With only a smiling glance to Dash, she made a long cut across her pelvis, just above her crotch. Moving up her body, she drew a similar incision under the ribs. One final cut was made down her stomach, connecting the first two.
Looks like I got...
Looks like I got my eye on you, but it's an eye is an eye, me.
Let me try that again.
Looks like I got my eye on you, Rainbow Dash.
With a moist, gooey sound, the new door flapped open. The sight of her own organs and the lack of feeling caused Dash's breathing to intensify. Pinkie sliced open the abdominal sac and grabbed the large intestines, separating it from the rest of the digestive tract and pulling them from the forming cavity. Pinkie was getting jovial and starting to make jokes. Dash, growing weaker from this new source of blood loss, tried to shut out the comedy act. Pinkie was laughing.
Look at me, I'm rarity,
she said, slinging the tube around her neck and spreading blood in all directions.
Isn't my new scarf so pretty?
Reaching back in, she cut the smaller intestine off the bowls. Squeezing out the excess excrement, Pinkie filed it through her teeth and dragged it back and forth.
Dentists say you gotta floss every day, Dash.
Rainbow Dash was barely aware of what was going on anymore. The shock was causing her to fade. Pinkie got disappointed. Diving back into the guts, she ramped up her routine.
Aww, don't go yet, Dashy.
She started pulling out the rest of the organs, stopping at each one.
I know I can be a real... Pediasis?
Panaceas?
So I know it's supposed to be a joke on
Pancreas?
Pancreas? Okay, pancreas.
Aw, don't go yet, Dashy.
She started pulling out the rest of the organs, stopping at each one.
I know I can be a real pancreas, but you know I'm just kidding with you. You gotta learn to liver it up. Boy, these jokes are getting bladder. Guess you gotta develop a stomach for them.
She placed the discarded body parts into a bucket, keeping the last one for a bit longer.
Ooh, bagpipes.
She said, placing the tube in her mouth and the organ in her armpit. A spurt of acid hit her tongue.
Ew. Oh, hey. There's your cupcake, Rainbow Dash.
Dash didn't hear her. She had slipped from consciousness minutes ago. Pinkie, not satisfied yet, hit her with another adrenaline shot. Dash woke up for the last time, her heart pumping. Her blood flowed out faster. It wouldn't be long now. Pinkie put Dash down on her back and straddled her chest, scalpel ready.
You know, Dashy, I'm disappointed. I thought you would have lasted longer. I really wanted to spend more time with you before we got here. But I guess it's my fault. I should have taken it a little slower. Oh well. It was really nice knowing you, Rainbow Dash.
The blade sunk into the blue one's throat and worked its way up to her chin. Coming back down, it trickled around her neck. The last thing Dash felt was her skin being cut away from her skull, the metal scraping her teeth. Then she was gone. Pinkie Pie stared into the mirror. She did a really good job, even keeping the eyelids. She winked. Dash winked back. Pinkie smiled. But still, she was sad that her friend was now gone. It only lasted 50 minutes, not nearly as long as she wanted. She looked back at the cadaver hanging there in the center of the room, the last of its fluids draining into the pan. Yup, no more Rainbow Dash. Then Pinkie cocked her head. She was starting to take notice of the fact that there really wasn't that much damage. In fact, she began to say,
I think...
An idea exploded in her head. She was good at sewing, and she had all the pieces. All she had to do was put her back together. Yeah, just get some stuffing and bingo. She'd have Rainbow Dash forever. In fact, that's what she'd do for all her friends when their numbers came up. She was so excited she skipped over to the body with the Skinner to get started. The cupcakes can wait. Pinky had a friend to make. Silver Spoon suddenly woke up. She was on her back and couldn't move. She couldn't see. Where was she? Freaking out, she was just about to scream when the pony from the bakery appeared in front of her.
Hi!
She giggled.
Where am I? What's going on?
The frightened little foal asked.
Oh, well, you see, your number came up and I gotta make cupcakes.
Pinky explained.
What does that mean? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. I wouldn't worry about it if I was you. It'll be over soon.
She approached the girl, scalpel at the ready, when a small voice called out from behind.
Miss Pinky, what do you think you're doing?
She paused and turned to look at Apple Bloom. The yellow baby pony walked up to her with an angry look on her face. Silver Spoon started to feel relieved.
I can't believe you're doing this.
She pouted.
I thought you said this one was gonna be mine.
Pinky apologized.
Oops, sorry about that. Guess I forgot. Here you go.
She handed the blade over. Apple Bloom climbed on the table and stood over her prey. Silver Spoon tried to struggle. She stared in fear at Apple Bloom and her apron. The pink apron with the shiny tiara on it. Silver Spoon wanted to cry. Apple Bloom grinned and opened her mouth.
Hey, Silver Spoon, guess who's gonna be a blank flank? And that's the end.
Azzy, that was fucking horrible. I'm not even gonna like sugarcoat that. Like, that was, everything about that was awful.
Yeah, that was a lot worse than I remembered it being.
Oh my god, dude.
That was a lot worse than I remembered.
There was no substance at all. It was just shock value for the sake of it. And I feel like I don't even know.
I mean, it's supposed to be that. It's the actual fic itself is supposed to be shock value.
Right. But like, I feel like a piece of my soul has left me, and I will never get. I feel hollow.
Interesting. So, as someone who doesn't really do gore very well, like, I love the Saw franchise, but I don't really like the gore involved. The descriptions of gore and death do make me flinch. I think they are well written to the point where I'm like, I don't like that. But I do understand what you're saying. It is gore just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But it is supposed to be that. That's the point. It's supposed to be that people click on this thinking it's like a shipping fan fiction or something, and then there's suddenly, there's suddenly gore. Basically, that's the point of it.
But I didn't click on. You brought this to me. You brought this into my life. You asked me to sit down and read this blind with you. And now I don't, because I feel like everyone's going to like be like, oh, well, you're saying, you're like, oh, that's the point. But I don't know. I feel the equivalent to this to me is like Squidward's suicide.
I've never heard of that.
I grew up with SpongeBob. Well, CreepCast did an episode.
Oh, did they? No way.
The guy's suing us. Don't.
Oh my god.
Okay, just to try not to,
Don't
try to bring them up again. Yeah, but yeah, no, they did an episode on Squidward's suicide, and it's like the whole thing is like, oh, there was a secret SpongeBob episode, and Tom Kenny wanted it secret, and the staff watched it, and they were like, oh, we can never show this to anybody, and it's just like just a graphic description of like Squidward being depressed and ultimately shooting himself in the head, and he's got like realistic eyes and realistic blood, and it's like,
okay. So here's the thing for me. I understand where you're coming from with that, where yes, it is the similar like kind of shocking thing. For me, it's not. I'm not going to judge the concept in itself for what it is, because it's meant to be this. It's meant to be a shock fic above all else. What I'm judging is the actual writing content in between this.
Yeah.
And the actual writing content
See, Nova hates it too.
Nova was disgusted by it. The actual writing in itself, excellent. It stays in character, but it just has that, I don't know. It's very interesting. It doesn't go too far, too overboard. It feels like it honestly could be an episode of My Little Pony with the way these characters are written. And I've read a lot of My Little Pony fan fiction. I've read a lot of fan fiction in general. That's the biggest part that people have trouble with, getting the characters like to talk like how they would. All of these characters talk like how they should. It reads like an episode of My Little Pony. It's just got an excessive amount of gore in that. And I understand if that concept is off-putting for you, but it's supposed to be.
But it's not that it's like I can watch gore.
Yeah.
I just, what's at the service of here, you know?
It's basically someone who was like anti this ship made this. I think I'm not entirely sure on the context. Again, I wasn't around for this exact time, but it is supposed to be above all. You're supposed to not know that it's a gore fic going in, and then suddenly it's a gore fic. It's shock value. It's written for the sake of shock value. It has shock value in it. That's all it is.
Right. All right. I never want to read that again.
What about Rainbow Factory?
I think I've lost all interest in any pony content from here on.
That's so sad. Honestly.
I'm just gonna Squidward suicide myself after this. You're gonna come in and see my hyper realistic
Jupiter's
eyes.
suicide. That's going to be the fan fiction I'm going to read after this episode comes out.
You're gonna write it.
Yeah, it's just going to be me and Nova on the couch. We're doing like a dumb
that's
podcast.
That's the ultimate creepypasta move. Is next episode you're sitting alone on the couch reading a story called Jupiter's Suicide, and I'm nowhere to be found. And like halfway through, like a little puddle of blood starts coming out from the door behind you.
You don't know what I've got planned. Maybe I showed you this pic for a reason.
And with that, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Dumb CreepCast. Don't call it CreepCast. We can't legally use that term anymore.
Yeah, the heat is really on us right now. Please don't call it CreepCast. We're Dumb CreepCast. I swear.
Yeah. We will see you in the next episode. Love you so much.